What's going on, guys? Welcome back to our tutorial world, and today I'm going to be showing you how to build a very simple sugarcane farm, and then I'm going to be showing you how to make it stackable. So let's get to it. Now I'm not going to show you how many blocks are needed because this design is completely adjustable to your space requirements, so how much room you've got to actually build it in and how long you want it to go on for. So it can be anywhere from 1 block high all the way up to 15 blocks along. Not high, yeah. 1 block along up to 15 blocks along, because that's how far the redstone signal stretches. But let's get to it. Now, it's a very simple design. I'm fairly sure there's probably 1 or 2 tutorials out there already for it. The first one I'm going to do is going to be 8 long, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we're going to run a wrap some material around it. Obviously the color palette and block choice is up to you, so then you just do that. That's your basis for it. Then we want to fill it with water because obviously you need water next to where sugarcane grows. And then we want to bring this up again, and then bring it up again, and that is where we're going to have our standard pistons go. So all along here, just like so. Let's get rid of that last one because that's a one too far. And then what we want is, this is going to be an observer activated farm. I will show you how to run it off a hopper clock. The one I've got in my world runs off of a hopper clock. Now you want the observer facing outwards the same way as the pistons are going. So just like that. And then the redstone, you just want to whack it directly behind the observer and just along the blocks above the actual pistons, well behind the pistons. And then you can place your sugarcane. Now that is how simple the initial farm design is. Now what I usually like to do for cosmetic reasons is just to wrap it around with the material that you're using. I usually go for a green colour, either green glass or green clay or green concrete, just to match the sugarcane. Now this one is activated by the observer block alone, so as soon as it reaches the observer block it will send a signal and then it will knock off all the sugarcane. Now as you can see, this is not a completely lossless farm, but with the amount that it will be kicking out, the odd 1 or 2 landing back on where the sand is, isn't too much of a big deal. And then you just want to whack a chest there, and then run your hoppers or water stream leading to a hopper just directly underneath. Now what you will want to do afterwards is obviously build a layer of glass or a material directly in front, because where the pistons kick off the sugarcane, you want it to be able to hit something so it doesn't go flying over where you're collecting it. Now I would usually wrap it around with glass just for the cosmetic reasons. But now I will show you how to make it a stackable design. So that is your very simple basic auto sugarcane farm, which is very, very simple to build, as you just saw. To make it into a stackable design, we are actually going to have to do a little bit of redstone work behind. Now we want a redstone torch tower going from here, so then we want to whack 2 blocks just behind these last 2 bits of redstone, whack a repeater there, put it on 4 ticks, just so that the signal turns the actual redstone torch on and off. And then from here you want to go up by 1, and then a 2, oh, not over that, and then a 3, and then I do believe that is going to be the layer, or is it the one just above? I think it should be this one. And then let me just double check to make sure, because this is where we're going to be having our water, so we want to do another layer just like that with the green clay or green concrete or the building material of your choice. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm not getting anything wrong for you guys. Now unfortunately with the stackable design as it is, you're probably going to want to use dirt purely because you don't need the block underneath, and if you weren't using dirt you can, I'll show you how to use sand afterwards, because it is possible. There's no reason why you can't. I always use sand because I think the sand matches the green sugarcane a lot better. But yeah. So then obviously with this area, you just want to bring up the sides up all the way along because it's just a lot simpler and it looks a lot nicer. And then you want to wrap this just around here. Let me get down a little bit lower. Just like so. Bring the sides all the way up. There's no reason why you shouldn't. And then behind here, take it up one more layer. Now you want the water to go in just behind, like so. And then we want to bring this up yet again to here. Because that is where our pistons are going, like so. And then this torch tower, I thought that didn't bring it up by one more enough, like so. There we go. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 going along, just so that the top one's not active. And then you want the redstone just to run along behind here. And then you can put your sugarcane down. Now obviously this farm isn't going to be active until the observer block has been activated. So as soon as you do that, and then the top one will kick out. Now if you don't have the repeater on the 4-tick delay, it won't send a strong enough signal to send the torches off, so that top layer just won't go off. So you definitely want to extend the signal just so that the torches can actually respond to it, and then you won't have a problem. So if we do one up there, say one there, and then we activate it all, and then it all gets kicked off. So yeah, so that's the first layer. That's the more difficult one regarding the torches, but then it gets a lot simpler because you don't have to do the staggered torch one. You just do 1 and then a 2. So it's just straight up, and then each layer after is going to be the exact same depending on how high you want to take it. Now obviously you can take it as high as you want. You can take it up to build limit if you want. Sorry about the frog in the throat, it's quite early in the morning for me at the moment. So we want to do another layer just above here. That's going to be for our water, and then another layer just back here on top of the redstone. And again, just bring the sides up. Like so. And that is that. Now we also want to bring our dirt along like so. And then we got the rest of our blocks here. And then we want our pistons. And we want our water back, please. Just like so. And then you put your sugarcane down again. Now each layer afterwards is the exact same. You just stack it up a couple of torches and build the exact same unit above. So we want to run our redstone, which will be just like that. And there you have it. That's a completely stackable and very simple sugarcane design. Now, if we hop up here, pretend a few of these have actually grown, then you activate it, obviously, by this observer block, and then it will kick it down. But like I said, you're obviously going to want to wrap something around the front, just so it contains the sugarcane from being kicked off. It's not a loftless farm, as you can see. Some of them will or may land on the actual blocks themselves, but from the amount that will be kicking out, there's no reason that you don't really need that much. Now you can, what I would do is change the dirt into sand just to tidy it up and make it look nicer. And the only unfortunate thing when doing this is because you're going to need a layer beneath the sand. So sugarcane can't grow more than 1 high in the sections below. But when you do that, you can obviously, we need to get rid of this water before I show you, otherwise it's all going to come pouring out. We do that, and then you can actually switch it to sand if you so wish to. And that's because it's now got the layer of green concrete underneath supporting it. And I personally think that the sand next to the green contrast of the sugarcane looks a lot nicer, but if it's just an industrial build, just go with all dirt, because obviously it will be producing more sugarcane. Now you can also build another type of farm which is very similar to this. You just get rid of this observer block, and then let me fill in that patch just there, and you can actually just have this thing running off of the hopper clock. So if we run it down to, say, just over here, and then we want block, oh no, not there. I need to try to remember how to build the hopper clock. We also need a redstone block. So let's say you, and then hopper into each other there. And I think I built this the wrong way around. Hopper, hopper. And then I do believe we need a comparator. Like so. Like so. I'm trying to remember exactly how this is built. Hopper, comparator. Is it like that? It's been a while since I built one of these. Go in the hopper. Oh, it won't go in that one, will it? There we go. And that's your hopper clock. So I did get it right. And then obviously to extend the time, you just throw in more items. And then by doing that, we can then just take the signal from the redstone block. And obviously, I thought I built it the right way around initially. But yeah. Let's quickly switch this off just so we make it easier on ourselves. To switch it off, you just whack a lever on one of the hoppers, and then that'll fix it. It'll prevent the items from going back and forth. So if we do that, and then we do that, bring this round to here, get our, how have we lost our redstone dust? There we go. Like so, like so. Now we get rid of this side. Thank you. I always seem to build these the wrong way round, but yeah. We take our signal, and then you can just run it round to where the redstone is. Now this one will just be running off of obviously the hopper clock. Now running it off a hopper clock will obviously produce more because you're not continually waiting. Like all of this sugarcane would have been harvested by now had it been running off of a hopper clock instead of running from the observer. But some people don't like having hopper clocks running, especially if you're going to be making a massive farm out of it, because they can tend to produce a lot of lag. If you have, let's say, 10 lots of 8 pistons being activated by a hopper clock, that's 80 pistons activating every 3 or 4 seconds, and after a while it will sort of mount up depending on how many farms you have active in one area. So for lag friendly reasons I would usually go for the observer block, but for a big industrial build, the hopper clock version of this farm will obviously be producing a lot more. If we okay, get up. If we keep it in the off mode. There we go. But yeah, that is the stackable version of it. Now, this can go anywhere up to 15 blocks along. Now, this piston is exactly 15 blocks along. that is how far the signal goes. I'll show you right now. So if we do that, and then if we put a block all the way over here, and then activate it, as you can see, the signal will stretch all the way over to here, and you can make a 15 long stackable design using the exact same mechanics that I've used over there. Now, if you're wondering how come some of the stuff kicked off up top, that's because I just removed the repeater, which we can put back right now. And then you want to make sure there's no redstone there because it will create a continuous clock. So then we then get our thing and we just make sure that they all kick off. Whee! Raining sugarcane. Now, obviously, like I've said before, make sure that you've got a barrier. I usually go, I think in my world I've created a very similar design to this by just pretty much using, I think it was green clay that I used. But for cosmetics reasons, oh, don't fall, I like to bring up the sides, like so. Get lost. And then we want to go like so. Oh, I'm flying all over the earth. So yeah, if you just wrap it in like a lime green glass, now obviously it will look a lot better. Let me get rid of you guys, get rid of you guys, and then we'll just whack a layer of glass underneath there. This is all cosmetic work, by the way. This is not the most efficient way of doing this farm. I've already shown you the most efficient way, but for cosmetic reasons, this is the sort of design that I would go for. And then we get our, not that, we want our sugarcane. And I can show you just how that looks. And then like so. Yeah, so obviously we want to fill in that little area just back there with the lime concrete, just so that you can't see through to the redstone. All of them blocks are completely cosmetic, they're not necessary. But yeah, as you can see, if you wanted it to be a cosmetic build, going with the sand it looks a lot nicer, but by no way is it going to be the more efficient choice. And yeah, it's completely stackable. So yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed this tutorial, hopefully it's been helpful for you, and it's given you a number of different ways that you can build a farm. Like I said, this farm is completely adjustable to the size and dimensions that you want it to fit into. And the way that you collect it is entirely up to you. You can use hoppers, water streams, so on and so forth. But yeah, it's a number of different versions and ways of building the sugarcane farm. The simplest way is obviously using the observer block, but as you can see, we've got a number of the sugarcane that's grown already, and it won't actually be harvested until this one has grown up to 3. So, like so. And if there's glass here, all of this would actually have gone into the chest. But yeah, that's it. Hopefully you've enjoyed this tutorial, hopefully it's been helpful for you, and I'll hopefully see you all in the next one. Bye bye.